Hi class, today I'm going to be reading the book by Eric Carle called The Tiny Seed. This is our second book that we're going to be reading this week for our author study. And if you haven't noticed, I have a fancy new way to read books, so I'm really excited about it. Hopefully you'll be able to read or look at the pictures and see the words a little bit better. So again, The Tiny Seed, written and illustrated by Eric Carle. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them across the land. One of the seeds is very tiny. It's smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up, up, up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. You can see the tiny seed is right here. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. They're really going a long ways. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot, it is dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. Finally, the wind stops, and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. Look, it's right here. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they are going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch. See that right there? But the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls, the seeds grow so round and full, they start to burst open. You can look that the seeds they burst open, and out of them there's plants that are growing. First they send roots down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It is a big, fat weed. So I think that these plants right here must be the plant seeds that we saw, but this one is very big. And it takes all of the sunlight and the rain away from this little plant, one of the very small new plants. And look how it's yellow. That little plant dies. The tiny seed let's see, where is the tiny seed? It hasn't even begun to grow really yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally it starts to grow into a plant. Oh goodness, I see a problem with one of our plants. The warm weather also brings children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along, and oh, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore. Do you see that, how it's under his foot? The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast now, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, it has a bud, and now even a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow looms over, then a hand reaches down and breaks the flower off. I think they must be picking that flower. A boy has picked a flower to give to a friend. That's kind. It is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. Look. And it grows on, and it doesn't stop. The sun shines on it. The rain waters it. It has many leaves. And it grows taller and taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. I wonder why these birds and bees are coming to this flower. What do you think? Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop off from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. See that? It's fall. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pods open up. Do you see how there's little holes in the flower's pod? And so now the seeds are going out into the wind. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away. And that is the end. Now, I'm going to flip back through this book. We're going to find one picture that I want you to look at. So when I look at this picture of the bird, I notice that the illustrator, he has used lots of different pieces of paper to make this picture. He's also used some different techniques. Like this paper that he used here has had paint splashed or splattered on it. This paper here looks like it has different paint streaks in different directions. Here, all of the strokes go the same direction, but it's just a little bit different. So I'm excited to maybe make some art that's like Eric Carle's. And as I look at this, I noticed that a lot of his illustrations, in this book match some of the illustrations in his other books. Like the sun looks very familiar. I want you to think about maybe what other book has a sun like this. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this Eric Carle book as much as I did.